The space station above Jupiter was silent again. Anna sat near the wide glass window in her tiny living quarters, watching the swirling orange clouds of the giant planet below. Her hands rested on her knees, and her eyes stayed fixed on the same storm that had been spinning for centuries. But today, she wasn't really looking at Jupiter. She was thinking about Eli. It had been 8 months since he left the station for a deep space mission toward the Helix line, a frontier of new planets being mapped for human life. He had always talked about that assignment with wonder in his voice, and when he finally got the transfer, Anna had smiled and said she was proud, but now she felt something missing, something heavy. She thought she would be okay. She told herself this was normal. People moved, people grew, and life didn't stop. But in the still hours after her shifts in engineering, when the station lights dimmed and the stars blinked like cold fireflies, Anna felt the weight of distance settle in her chest. She missed their late-night talks in the old oxygen garden. It's the way Eli used to laugh at her awful jokes. The way he listened without needing to fix anything, just listened. It wasn't romance, wasn't anything simple. It was something deeper than that, a bond, a human connection. And now, silence. They had sent a few messages after he left, short ones, updates, smiles and words. But slowly the messages became fewer. The last one came 3 weeks ago. I found a planet with red trees, he wrote. You'd love it here. Looks like autumn on Earth. I'll send pictures next time. But no pictures came. Anna checked the communication logs every day, even though she told herself not to. He's probably just busy, she whispered, or the signal is slow. It happens. But her heart didn't believe it. That night after a long shift repairing power nodes, she returned to her room, exhausted. She opened her tablet and stared at the blank message screen. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. She wanted to say something, anything. But she didn't know how to start. Was it strange to send a message just saying she missed him? Would it make things awkward? She closed the tablet. Anna leaned her head back against the cold metal wall. Why is this so hard? She whispered. She remembered how humans used to send letters by hand thousands of years ago, across oceans, across battlefields. Back then, people waited months, sometimes years, to hear from someone they loved. And still, they waited. Still, they hoped maybe that's what made humans special. They didn't give up, even when everything felt too far, too broken, too late. Anna sat up straight. The thought gave her a small fire inside. She opened the tablet again. This time, she didn't plan the message. She just wrote from the heart. Hey Eli, it's Anna. I don't know if this will reach you. I know you're busy, and space is. Well, space, but I've been thinking about you a lot. I miss talking with you. The station feels different without you here. I saw a plant in the oxygen garden that reminded me of your weird Earth tea. I laughed, then I almost cried. I don't know what this is supposed to be, maybe. I just needed to tell someone I care, and I care about you a lot. So, if you get this right back, or don't, just know you're not forgotten, not by me. She stared at the message for a moment, then hit send. The screen blinked. Message queued. Transmission to Helix line. In 22 hours? She didn't expect anything to happen. But she felt better, a little lighter, like maybe, just maybe, she had taken the first step towards something. Humanity had crossed stars, built homes in orbit, and touched new worlds. But the hardest thing was still the same as it had always been, reaching someone's heart across the silence. And yet, humans never stopped trying. Anna smiled, a real tired, hopeful smile. Somewhere out there, Eli was looking at the stars too, and maybe, just maybe, he was thinking about her. Asterisk, the days passed slowly. Anna kept to her routine early mornings in the engineering deck. Long hours checking power cores, fixing cooling systems, and adjusting pressure valves. She smiled when she had to, nodded at passing officers, and answered questions with practiced calm. But inside, she was waiting. She kept checking her tablet. No new messages. Every time the transmission list updated, she would feel her chest tighten. But Eli's name didn't appear. Not yet. She knew deep space messages took time, especially when the helix line was expanding further. There were blackouts, solar flares, broken relays. She understood all of that, but understanding didn't stop her from missing him that night. After her shift ended, Anna returned to her quarters. She opened her journal. It was old-fashioned, just a paper notebook, something her grandmother gave her before she joined the Jupiter station. She hadn't written in it for months. Now she picked up the pen and started to write. Dear Eli, today was slow. I fixed a broken coolant pipe and spilled liquid nitrogen on my boots. They're still frozen stiff. The oxygen garden is growing. Again, there's a new batch of seedlings coming in. I named one of them after you. Don't worry, it's a strong one. I miss the way you used to hum when you worked. It was annoying, and now I'd give anything to hear it again. Anyway, I hope you're okay out there. I hope you're smiling. Anna, she closed the notebook and stared at the ceiling. It was quiet in her room, but she could hear the hum of the station's life support systems, a low, steady sound that never stopped. Like a heartbeat, she thought about Earth, about the times before all this, before space stations, before deep space travel. Back then, people missed each other too. People wrote letters, made calls, waited by the mailbox. Distance had always been a part of life, but humans always found a way through it. Anna turned on the small music speaker in her room. Soft piano melody began to play one of Eli's favorites. She closed her eyes. She imagined him somewhere on a distant moon, walking through forests of red trees. She imagined him pausing, looking up at the sky, thinking of her. Maybe he was hearing that same music in his head. Maybe the bond they had wasn't lost, just quiet. That thought gave her strength. The next morning, Yana made a decision. She went to the communication deck and signed up for a personal satellite relay, a rarely used service for emotional messages. It wasn't standard. It cost her 2 days of credits. But she didn't care. She recorded a short voice message. Hi, Eli, it's me again. I wanted to hear your name out loud. I know this might not reach you fast, or maybe it won't reach you at all. But I needed to try. I miss you. I'm still here. I'm still waiting. That's all. She sent it with a sigh, then walked out into the corridor. As she passed the viewing bay, she stopped. A boy stood there, maybe 9 years old, holding his father's hand and pointing at the swirling clouds of Jupiter. Look, Dad, it's like a giant soup, the boy said, laughing. Anna smiled. Humanity had come so far from fire and wheels to stars and storms. But the most important part of them never changed. They laughed, they hoped, they waited. They tried again, even when they didn't know what to say, and that was what made them special. That evening, as the stars appeared one by one, Anna returned to her room. Her tablet buzzed. She almost dropped it. Her fingers trembled as she opened. The message, it was from Eli. Anna, I got your message. I can't believe it worked. Things are crazy here. The signal's been dead for weeks. I thought of you every day. I didn't know what to say either. But now I do. I miss you too, so much. Let's not lose this again. I'm still here. I never stopped caring. Eli, tears welled in her eyes. She didn't try to stop them. In the middle of cold metal walls and distant stars, warmth spread through her chest. Hope wasn't a loud thing. It didn't always arrive with trumpets or fireworks. Sometimes it came in a quiet message from someone far away. Sometimes it came when you needed it most. And sometimes it was enough to remind you that distance didn't mean the end. It only meant the next step in finding your way back. Anna read Eli's message again and again. She had almost forgotten what it felt like to see his words appear on her screen, not in her memory, not in a journal, but real, alive. There, but after the joy came something else, a quiet fear. What now? It had been so long. So much time had passed. She didn't know what Eli was really thinking. Was he just being kind? Was it only a reply out of guilt? Did he feel the same way she did? Or was she holding on to something that had faded in the distance? She opened her tablet, stared at the message screen, and then closed it. Not yet, she whispered to herself. Instead, she walked to the oxygen garden. The garden was small, but it was her favorite place. Green leaves, moist air, tiny waterfall humming in the corner. The plants were slow, patient, and full of life. She loved that Anna sat on a bench under a tall artificial tree and looked up through the glass dome. Stars filled the black sky, like salt on dark cloth. "Do you think people ever really forget?" she asked the silence. A gentle beep came from her tablet. A new message. Her heart jumped. It was a second one from Eli. "I hope it's okay that I wrote again. I couldn't stop thinking about your message. I feel like I lost something, and now maybe I've found it again. I don't want to lose it a second time." She read the words slowly, then again something in her softened. This wasn't just kindness. This was real. She took a deep breath. This time she replied without thinking too much. "It's okay. I feel the same. I didn't know how much I missed you until I said it out loud. I don't want to lose this either. Let's talk." She's like, before, one message at a time. She hit send. Anna stayed in the garden for a while. The soft light above the plants dimmed slowly as the station entered its night cycle. The stars remained. It took another full day before Eli replied. The Helix line was far, and signals had to bounce through relay stations across many sectors. But Anna didn't mind waiting now. She had something to wait for. Eli's next message was longer. "Things out here are rough sometimes. We're mapping an ice planet now. It's freezing and beautiful. I found a rock shaped like a cat's head made me laugh. I keep thinking how you'd name every weird plant out here if you were with me. I miss that. I miss you." Anna smiled. She replied with a long message of her own, like she told him about the coolant leak that froze someone's lunch tray. She told him about the boy on the station who thought Jupiter looked like soup. She even sent a picture of the seedling she named after him. It was growing strong, and slowly, message by message, the bond returned. They didn't talk about everything. Some things were still too close, too fresh, too fragile. But they talked. They shared stories. They laughed, and that was enough for now. One evening, Anna sat by the window again, watching the storm spin below. This time, she wasn't sad. She thought about something Eli once told her. Space doesn't break people apart. Silence does. He was right, and humans had always fought silence. Through letters, through radio, through music. Through stories told around fires and whispered in cold rooms, they reached through silence because they couldn't stand to leave someone behind. That was the human way. Anna looked down at the swirling, orange clouds of Jupiter and felt something new inside her, not just hope, but strength. She had made the first step. She had kept going when it was hard. She had spoken even when she didn't know what to say, and now something was growing again, not just a friendship, not just a message thread, but a connection, real and lasting. Because even across stars, humans knew how to hold on. Even in the quietest places, they found ways to speak. And even when lost, they searched until they were found. Anna sat by the hydroponics wall, her back against the warm metal frame, hands wrapped around a small cup of tea. The lights had dimmed for night cycle, but her mind was wide awake. Her latest message to Eli had been lighthearted. She told him about how she dropped a wrench into the ventilation system and had to fish it out with a magnet, he'd replied. With a drawing of the wrench monster and a message that made her laugh. Still, she felt the gap between them. It wasn't just space. It was time, change, life. There were moments when she wondered if their connection could last. After all, they weren't the same people they were back on training base 3 years ago. They had both grown, lived different stories, changed in ways they couldn't see through text. Anna took a deep breath. She wanted to hear his voice again. Not just typed words, but his real voice. She missed the way he paused when he was thinking. The way he said her name like it meant something more. But deep space didn't allow for real-time calls. The delay could be hours, sometimes days. Still, she had an idea. She opened the recording app on her tablet. Then she froze. What would she say? She started and stopped twice. Then finally she pressed record and spoke. "Hi, Eli. It's Anna," I thought. "Maybe it would be nice to send you something different this time. Just me talking. like the old days. I don't really have a speech planned. I just wanted you to hear me. I've been thinking a lot lately about how people drift apart, not because they stop caring, but because they stop reaching. I don't want to stop reaching, even if it's awkward, even if we change. I want to try. I hope that's okay. She paused, then smiled a little. Also, I finally beat the station's chess AI. It took me 3 months. I wish you were here to brag too. She ended the message and uploaded the file to the satellite relay. Then she waited. The next day passed like usual. Maintenance checks, food delivery logs, a clogged pipe in the med bay. Nothing special. Except Anna felt different inside. She felt brave, not because she had all the answers, but because she had tried. That night, her message log lit up again. A video file. Her heart thumped as she clicked it. Eli's face appeared tired but smiling. His hair was longer, and a faint scar traced his left cheek. But his eyes were the same. Warm. Familiar. "Hey, Anna," he said, voice quiet but steady. "Thanks for your message. I listened to it 3 times. It was good to hear your voice. Again, made me feel closer to something real." He looked down, then back up. "You're right, people do change. I know I have. Some of it's good. Some of it I'm still figuring out. But one thing that hasn't changed is how much I care. About you. I thought the distance would fade that feeling, but it didn't. It just made it quieter. And now, hearing you again, it woke something up." He grinned. "Also, I can't believe you beat that chess AI. You're officially smarter than half the station crew out here." Anna laughed out loud. The sound surprised even her. Eli's message ended with something simple. "Let's keep talking. Not just updates. Real stuff. I don't want to go back to silence." She closed the tablet, holding it against her chest. That night, she recorded another voice message. She told him about her childhood pet rabbit, the time she almost joined, the Mars program, and the song that always made her cry. Nothing big, just little truths. And as the days passed, they exchanged more of these messages. Stories, fears, dreams, pieces of themselves that couldn't fit in short texts. It wasn't perfect. Sometimes a message got delayed or lost. Sometimes they didn't know what to say, but they kept sending them. One voice and another, back and forth. Because humans were never made for silence. They were made for stories, for reaching out, for trying again. And even across the stars that didn't change. The window in Anna's quarters wasn't large, but it was just enough to see the stars. She often sat there after her shift, legs crossed, tea in hand, tablet by her side. It had become a kind of ritual now, waiting, not in the sad, heavy way she used to. No, she waited with hope. She and Eli had been trading voice messages for a few weeks. Nothing fancy. It's just small stories. Laughs, thoughts, even silence sometimes. But silence that felt shared, not lonely. Still, she sometimes wondered what it would feel like to be in the same room again, to talk without waiting. Hours or days for a reply, to simply sit beside him and say nothing at all. That kind of closeness. She opened her tablet and played his last message again. "There's a storm here today, dust and red wind. I found a quiet cave to sit in while the team scans the area. It's funny how I feel more connected to you now, even from this far away. You're in my thoughts more than the stars out here. I hope that's not weird." Anna smiled. "Not weird," she whispered. She wanted to reply. She just didn't know how to say what she really felt. She'd always been careful with her words. Even with Eli. Back at the academy, she was known as the quiet one, the problem solver, the observer. Eli had been the talker, the one who made friends easily, the one who made her laugh without trying. She remembered how he used to wait for her to speak, never rushing her. That made all the difference. And now, with only voice messages to connect them, she wanted to be braver. She tapped record. "Hi, Eli. I'm glad you said that, about thinking of me. I think of you too, a lot. I was afraid to say that at first, not because it's wrong, but because it's real. And sometimes real things are hard to hold." She paused, letting the moment sit. I miss being near someone who understands. You always made me feel like I mattered. And I guess, ... I want you to know that you still do, no matter where you are. She hit send. Then she sat by the window again and let herself feel everything missing him, loving the stars, fearing the future, hoping anyway. A few days passed. She worked, ate, slept. She cleaned the water filters in the oxygen garden and fixed a flickering light in the corridor. Life went on, and then the reply came. A voice message. Anna, I listened to your message twice. I don't really know what to say except thank you for being honest, for trusting me. I miss being near you too. It's not just your voice or your stories, but your presence, that calm feeling you bring. Out here, sometimes I feel like a ghost in a tin can just floating. But when I hear from you, I feel like I'm still human, still real. I wish I could be there. Don't know what the future looks like. Maybe we'll be posted on different sides of the galaxy. Maybe not. But I want to keep this going, even if it's slow, even if it's hard. I'm not letting go. Anna held the tablet close to her chest. Her heart was full. Not just of joy, but of something deeper. A feeling that somehow, even through space, someone saw her, heard, cared, and that's what humanity was best at. Even when the world felt too big, too dark to quiet, we reached anyway. We loved anyway. She opened the tablet and recorded a short reply, not letting go either. That night she printed a photo Eli had sent, a picture of the red trees on the planet he'd explored. She pinned it to the wall above her bed. It was something small, but to her it was a window, a bridge between two places. Between two people, and when she lay down to sleep, she didn't feel so far away anymore, because connection isn't always about distance. It's about effort. It's about honesty. It's about hope. And hope, even quiet hope, was the strongest thing in the universe. Anna walked slowly through the corridor, a warm drink in her hands. The night shift on the Jupiter station had ended early, and the hallways were quiet. Soft lights glowed above her, casting long shadows on the walls. She had just listened to Eli's newest voice message. His voice sounded tired, but his words were warm. The planet's getting colder. We had to move the camp inside a glacier cave. I kept thinking how you'd laugh at the way I slipped on the ice 3 times. I miss hearing that laugh. One miss. You? Anna smiled quietly. It had been over 2 months since she sent the first message. At the time, she didn't know if he'd ever reply. She hadn't known what to say or how to start again. But now, his voice had become part of her life. Again, not every day, not always easy, but real. She sat in the oxygen garden, near the seedling she had named after him. It had grown strong, green, stretching toward the light. She ran her fingers over one of its wide leaves. "This little guy is surviving in space," she whispered. "Maybe we can too." She opened her journal. For the first time in days, she felt like writing. "Dear Eli, I think I'm learning something. Maybe we don't need to fix the distance. Maybe we just need to build a path across it. A path made of simple things, voice messages, stories, shared silence, small steps. I'm still afraid sometimes, afraid that this will fade again. But then I hear you. I remember why I reached out in the first place, because you matter. To me, and I still believe in us." She closed the notebook and looked up through the dome above. Stars blinked beyond the glass. She thought of Eli, sitting in his glacier cave, wrapped in a thick jacket. Maybe sipping something warm, she hoped. He felt her presence, even from this far away. The next few days were quiet. No message came. Anna tried not to worry. She reminded herself that deep space was unpredictable. Maybe the signal was weak. Maybe he was busy. Maybe her tablet blinked. Message received. She opened it with shaking hands. Eli's voice played softly. "Anna, I'm okay. We lost the transmitter. In a small quake, don't worry, everyone's fine. It took a while to fix it. I kept recording messages anyway, even though I couldn't send them. I'll send them all when I can." He paused. "But I wanted to say this first. I think I'm in love with you. I've been afraid to say it, but it's true. It's not just missing you, it's more. It's knowing that you're part of me. Now, no matter how far we are, and I'm not letting this go. I hope that's okay. Anna's breath caught in her throat. She stood still in the garden, frozen in the soft light, the sound of water trickling behind her. Her heart beat hard in, her chest not from fear, but from something pure. She sat on the bench, closed her eyes, let the words settle, let her feelings rise. She didn't reply right away. She wanted her answer to be honest, not rushed. She wanted it to come from a place of truth, not just emotion. That night, she walked back to her quarters and stared at the stars. She remembered everything: his jokes, his quiet patience, his awkward stories, the way he used to look at her like she was the answer to a question he hadn't asked yet, and she realized something. She loved him too, not with fireworks or sudden passion, but with steady trust, with years of knowing, silent belief. She opened her tablet and hit record. "Hi, Eli. You don't have to be afraid. I feel the same. I didn't know how to say it. I didn't even know if I was allowed to feel it, but now I do. I love you, and I don't care how far away you are. Just want to keep building this, whatever it is. I want to keep trying." She stopped, smiled, then added softly, "Also, I think the plant named after you is falling in love with the lamp next to it. Thought you should know." She hit send. Then she sat back, quiet and calm, because she had spoken her heart, and that was the bravest thing a human could do. Across space, across time, across fear, they kept trying, and that made all the difference. Days turned into weeks. Anna and Eli's messages became the heartbeat between two worlds. Sometimes the silence stretched longer than they liked. Sometimes a message got lost in the vastness of space, or the reply came late, delayed by hours or days. But they never stopped trying. Anna found comfort in small routines. She would check her tablet first thing every morning, hoping to see Eli's voice or a new picture from the strange places he explored. She saved every message he sent, playing them again when the loneliness crept in. She shared parts of her life, the way the station smelled after a storm, the songs she listened to when she worked late, the books she read under the faint glow of emergency lights. And Eli shared too his challenges on the ice planet, his dreams of new discoveries, the moments when he felt most alive. One day, Anna received a message unlike any before. It was a video. She clicked on it, her heart pounding. The screen showed Eli standing on the surface of the ice planet. Behind him, vast blue glaciers shimmered under a pale sun. He was smiling, eyes bright despite the cold. "Hey, Anna," he said, voice warm and steady. "I wanted you to see this. This place is beautiful, hard but beautiful. It reminds me a lot of you, strong, quiet, and full of life, even when things get tough." He looked down at the small camera in his hand. "I wish you were here. I know space keeps us apart. But this video, it's a bridge. A little light, connecting us." Anna watched it over and over. Tears filled her eyes. She felt closer to him in that moment than she had in months. She recorded her own message in return. "Eli, this is amazing. Thank you for sharing it with me. It feels like I'm standing there beside you, feeling the cold and the sun on my face. I'm proud of you, of how you keep moving forward, even when it's hard. You remind me why I reach out every day, because connection is worth the distance." They kept building their bridge, one message at a time, one voice, one story, one shared dream. Anna no longer felt alone in the vastness of space. She felt the strength of something bigger, a human connection that distance could not break. No matter the miles, no matter the silence, no matter the unknown, because humanity is built to hope, built to reach, built to love, and that was their greatest power. Asterisk. Anna stood by the big window of the Jupiter station, looking out at the swirling orange storms below. Her tablet was beside her, glowing softly with new messages from Eli. She smiled, feeling warmth spread inside her chest. It had been months since Eli left for the Helix line, months of waiting, hoping, missing. Months of small messages, voices shared across light years. Stories told between stars. It had not been easy. There were moments when she felt alone and afraid, moments when silence seemed too loud, but she never stopped trying, because that is what made humans different. They don't give up. They keep reaching. They keep loving. The connection between Anna and Eli had grown stronger than distance. It was not perfect, it was not simple, but it was real. Her tablet beeped again. New message from Eli. She opened it with trembling hands. The screen showed a face she knew, so well, tired, smiling, hopeful. Anna, he said softly, but I have news. Our mission here is ending sooner than expected. We're heading back to the outer colonies next month. I don't know what will happen after that, but I want to see you. In person. To hold a real conversation, not just voices in a box. Anna's breath caught. She stared out the window at the stormy clouds. Tears filled her eyes. But these were not tears of sadness. They were tears of joy. Hope had become a reality. The two had survived the distance, the silence, the fear, and now they had a chance to be together again. She quickly recorded a message. Eli, that's the best news I've heard in a long time. I can't wait to see you, to talk, to laugh, to just be near you again. Thank you for never giving up. Thank you for holding on to us. I'll be waiting. The message sent. She turned from the window. Her heart was full. No matter how far apart two people are, if they care enough, they will find their way back. Because human hearts are strong, human hearts are brave. Human hearts hold hope, and that is the greatest strength of all.